What's up? Fucking alive. What is up? Ah, 3 people already. That's so awesome. I just wanted to go over the road trip that I just experienced driving our lovely, beautiful country, America, as a cannabis consumer, and then direct you to the blog that I'll be writing about later. But I just thought it was important to kind of go over things now, like what I did, what I saw, uh, in relation to like how things used to be. I used to drive back and forth a lot across country. When I was in the military, I would do it for schools. Yeah, that was pretty much it. But still, that's enough right there. Anyways, a lot has changed. Holy shit! I started in Houston. What up, Daisy? Oh, first off, I would like to give a big thank you to everybody that offered me medicine on my trip. Those in Texas, uh, Callie, everybody who just offered me. I missed most of the messages a little late, but it's nice knowing that you're there. And I really enjoyed the trip. But uh, let's get back into so Texas. So that's where I started. And as a cannabis consumer, that's where I didn't do anything. I didn't bring anything, but I did see a lot of Delta 8 signs, a lot of CBD signs. Had some conversations. I'd imagine a lot of stuff's coming from Oklahoma. And speaking of Oklahoma, I have a buddy there that it's on our website, Cannabis Legalization News. I posted a new article. If you go to news, it directs you to the blog. And here we have an event going on for my buddy from Blazing America. Uh, Loving Oklahoma scene. Like they're consuming on the spot. So that's awesome. Um, so Texas was Texas, saw family hanging out. It was nice. Uh, then spent 2 days in Texas. On my way to California, I had to drive through New Mexico and Arizona. I drove through New Mexico as fast as I could because it was hot. But what up, Michael? And then after, it is legal in New Mexico, but there's no infrastructure yet, so there was nothing for me to be seen in Texas or New Mexico, except for if I had got weed, then I wouldn't be as scared of the police or nothing. So that's the huge difference, driving cross country. Oh, I used to drive as a tech too. I forgot about that part too. That time I would always have weed and I'd always be smoking, ready for a stance of bullshit. But I wasn't going to do that in Texas, not for sure. Um, but yeah, New Mexico, dry, hot. Then I finally hit Cali, and I am so disappointed in Cali, Southern California, not Northern California. Um, oh, I know I'm rambling. I'm sorry. I wrote some notes to try and keep my ass in line, and I hope you guys can hear me okay. Oh, so in Arizona, I stopped and grabbed a legal pre roll. The process is pretty much Arizona and California seem to be in like the early stages of Washington state legalization as far as like the extra security to get your foot in the door. You're in Arizona, I imagine because it's on an out of state ID. He took a picture of my ID, and they scanned it as well. So whatever information to get out of that, and now I'm in their database. Big deal. Um, I bought a way too expensive pre roll, 1 gram. Um, it was over $10 because of taxes. And I asked the guy, "Hey, give me your best gram," and I smoked it, and honestly, it was like a Bud Light of weed. It was not a Washingtonian weed experience or anything like that. But yeah, Arizona, you have a lot of work to do, both on your legal system, um, your process, and your medical. So I stopped by and visited Chris Martin at Hempel Farms, and wow, I am so impressed with Chris Martin. If you don't know Chris Martin, you should check him out. He gave me his movie's available on Amazon. Haters Make Me Famous, and he also has a book called One Life. Right. So this guy, Chris Martin, just a beautiful man and a beautiful family. Like holy shit, they were beautiful. Like as much as he's gotten fucked with by the system in his childhood and the system in his present day, for someone who was served time, positive outlook in life, uh, strong family. It's a family business. the daughter, the son, everybody's part of the process, the kitchen. So they do what do you call it, licensing in other states, right? Where there's hemp farm stores in other states, but they produce all the products there. He's a chef. All the cookies, all the edibles for the doggy treats. It was heartwarming to see such a small family business, and at the same time heartbreaking to see someone who gets fucked with so hard, just because it's cannabis related for the most part, right? Like just because it's easy to toy with people's lives when something's still a Schedule One and it shouldn't be. So that was Arizona. Arizona was cool. Um, Recreational needs work. Legal was good. Cali. Now back to my disappointment for Southern California. So I'm from Southern California. I'm from Oceanside, where I spent the couple of days with my family. And man, what happened to you, Oceanside? What happened to you, Southern California? I mean, San Diego's always been kind of prohibition assholes, conservatives, but Oceanside really got gentrified. It used to be the land of like lowriders and cholos, and now it's like businessmen and whatevers. But no recreational dispensaries. I had to drive to Vista, which was 20 minutes away from the coast, just to get some legal weed. And there were two stores there. One was a Stizzy. That if you're familiar with name brands, they they're now a store. Who would have thought? And that was cool to see. Like, their marketing expanded as a vape pen. Now they're a store, but also it was weird. Well, here's the weird part. So I was going to try and do a live from there, and so I did some research on the store. It is a veteran, co-owned, co-created product, name brand, Stizzy, whatever. Store doesn't have veteran discounts. I was like, no, and the prices were insane. So the 1 gram pre-roll I bought there, it was Wonder Bread, was wonderful weed, but it wasn't patient prices. It wasn't, that's what it comes down to. Is like, this is medicine, and people do rely on what we call good weed is good medicine, and these guys also got to make money. But how do we get there? It's still I don't know. It's a long way to go. But Warner Brett, though, if you're not familiar with the story, he's an OG person, created all that stuff, went through all the turmoils, and great weed, though. I was so happy I wasn't disappointed by his weed. But just the prices, there's nothing you can really do. What I didn't like also about Cali and Arizona, they tax it on top of it. So in Washington State, it says $10 pre-roll. You're walking out the door $10. $35 bag. You're walking out $35 bag. Not so much in Cali and Arizona. They tax on top of what you're getting, so that was no bueno. But yeah, Cali, Southern Cali at least. Oh, here's another thing that was quite interesting for Southern California and very disappointing is there are no business grows. Like they're getting all the heritage weed from Mendo and Humboldt. Like that's where all the suppliers, like all the farms were at. I was like, there are no Fallbrook. Like there's avocados, there's reoccurring farmland all around Southern California, but no farms that were recreational grows. Like, what the fuck? Tennessee, I think they will. I think Tennessee will see, Daisy. I think each state is learning. Even Texas, right? Like, even though I was scared in Texas, it's because just Texas has a bad rep, and I don't want to fuck around and find out. What up, John? So yeah, back to the Cali though. The southwest coast is the sad coast, man. Like when it came to weed, not impressed to like the scene or the market. It just was more again bars and other worse things than cannabis, which it's just I get it, it's still growing, and it's nice to see people making living wages. There's plenty of living wages, and to live in Southern California, it's fucking expensive. So, good on those stops, those places though for being there and providing living wages for people. So after I decided to go north back home, I actually stopped. I had so I brought some show and tell stuff. So I stopped at the Evil Medman. Ooh. Go ahead and get your corporate shills out now. Get Get your call me whatever you want to call me, but I stopped at Medman, goddammit. And I stopped at Medman because they're the only ones I know that were doing this partnership with Mission Green and St. Ides of all fucking a beer brand, an alcohol brand now in the weed, and I think they're owned by the same ones that doing. So when I was walking out of the Medman store, right there was a refrigerator right on the way out, full of Lagunitas CBD, PBR CBD, like just all these beer brands, but now with CBD. So there's that. But and then I got know a little bit more about the Medmen story. You know, I didn't realize they were medical. I mean, if you really think about the Medmen, like their shitty image really comes down to like a waste in money as far as the founders, whoever, because they started in Colorado, I believe, but then expanded like all these other people do into MSOs or whatever. And I don't think they're going anywhere. And I talked to the employees, like everybody seemed to be happy there. As far as like there is the general manager I spoke to was a female Latina, and I just thought that was cool to see, like a woman of power in charge. Like she's got to be making at least low six figures, right below to live in goddamn LA area. So that was cool. So they're a big creepy MSO, but it's gonna be the thing eventually, right? Like once all these walls get knocked down, as Tom and I said, a lot of these guys are creating fight. They're not creating good business. They're not creating good weed. They're not creating good culture atmosphere. But we'll see how that goes. I only stopped at Medman, and there were several stores like on my drive that I kept thinking, a store is a store. Like you've been to a liquor store or you've been to a taco stand. They're kind of all the same. But every once in a while, like something stands out that I had to like just check out. Yeah, they do. Churches do, but cannabis is natural. God made it. You can make those arguments, right? It's the ignorant people that you got to go against, right? Like the ones still saying that Trump won. I mean, it just this weird shit. So let me just see if I can find this other thing that I took some pictures on my trip. This is like my show and tell. So there was some cool stuff that happened and stuff that didn't happen. Like so, story time. I after I left Oceanside, California, and again, thank you to everybody who offered me weed. I can't thank you enough. And give us a like and subscribe because that's what you're supposed to say to mill these fucking things, I guess. But where was that? Oh, so I go after LA. I head north to there was an event going on, the Hall of Flowers, going on in Santa Rosa, California. And I thought to myself, this is perfect timing. I'm gonna go to this badass event and do some, elbow rubbing, some hobnobbing. But the thing is I got my dates wrong. So I get to Santa Rosa, and the day I was planning to go to this event, Hall of Flowers, which was a pretty nice size event, they were done. So I decided to make the best of it and decided to drive up the coast, up to 101. And if you've ever been or if you've heard stories about the 101 in California, they're all true. I mean, it's the most, it could have been the most like relaxing thing I've ever done in my life, like as a solo by myself and with cannabis, because it was a nice ride. Um, so Santa Rosa, that's where I started. And so let's just pretend you can find a weed store there, get a couple pre rolls, then hit the 101, then head north. And then as you hit north, behind this beautiful view, you're going to see a place that this caught my eye. And there's a funny, this I find this so funny. So there's this place, 101, one log. This is also the place where, look at that, read that, dispensary, nursery, consumption lounge. Now they all weren't there yet when I was there. They all weren't active, but this same place is the same place where the ganjapreneur, ganjier, excuse me, the ganjier class is held. This place it's freaking beautiful. Like there was no cell phone signal, and and it was just gorgeous. ski location, just majestic, the best place you could probably smoke cannabis. And that's what I did. I bought a pre-roll. So they got this store. This is the front of the store. What you saw with the cookies logo was just a sign for the dispensary down the street. This is the actual dispensary sign. Funny story though with this one log. So you walk into the store, you have cafe where you can get regular drinks. Then you can have all like the typical winter lounge swag to buy, like statues of Sasquatch and T-shirts with bears fishing and shit. And so after you get past that, and there's a cafe as soon as you walk in, so you get food or swag. The dispensary is in the very back corner, and it's only about like 15 by 15 wide. And it's kind of like we're like at the porn store, like the VHS when in the very corner in the store. That's where the pot's at in this place, and very small shop. And it was kind of weird to see. It was all Cookies brand, right? The same play. This Gangier program is the elite of the elite, right? But they were all growing the cookie strains. They were all marketing the cookie product. They even had some Corvain Cooper eighths that I was going to hey, how much is that Corvain Cooper eighth? And if you don't know who Corvain Cooper is, he served time for cannabis, and now he has a brand, 40 tons, and it has his prison picture on the label. $75 for eighth. $75. So I did not buy that. I bought a $10 1 gram pre-roll called Dime Bag, which was still phenomenal. Like for $10, it was way better than the Arizona weed. And then it was cool to see. So at this one log stop, you can see where they're growing, like where the classes are held and everything. The plants are tall enough; they were above the. I think it's probably like a 7-foot fence or 8-foot. It was a pretty tall fence, and the plants were above that. You can see the cola sticking out. But then again, I wasn't going to go adventure forth. I mean, I know sometimes I can show up and just be like, "Yo, it's Miggy," and people do let me do shit. And I was going to do that at the Hall of Flowers, but I wasn't really feeling it on this coastal trip. I just was a happenstance. I saw these guys and saw this place, and this is where Tom will be going because he took the Gangier program, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful place. And so after that, again, I'm telling you, hit the 101 if you can. Land in Sacramento, Santa Rosa, buy your pre-rolls or whatever you smoke preferences. Get a rent-a-car and just hit the 101. Head north. So yeah, after that, more magic happened, and so this whole trip for me was all about happy accidents. Like, I'm driving down the 101. It's about 8:00 in the morning, and I see a sign that says Flow Cannabis Institute. And I was like, Institute? This got to be some sort of educational thing. It's got to be a cannabis, just maybe a grow study somewhere, something study wise. So let's just watch this video together, and I think I can explain more about what they are than I could. So we'll see. So I pulled into the land, and this is what it looks like. This company, Flow, bought 390 acres. Now, the grow is a separate spot on the property, but their production is on the 390 acres that used to be a winery, and it's all sustainable, and it's also it's a retreat. You can fucking stay there and do like wine, like not wine tasting, but bud tasting. So this is the future. If you have like a dream vacation, you want to do something. This place was amazing when I found it. Like, when I drove up to this place, what you're seeing is the no shit what this place looks like. Like, it was just gorgeous to see this landscape dedicated to just cannabis. And so, of course, I got there early morning. Google led me to the front door. God, that place was just bitching. But just I could smell the weed from the 101 when I was driving. Like, I was like, there's a farm around here somewhere. Turns out they were just harvesting and packaging all their stuff for the rest of. And so at this point, Flow Cannabis Institute is in Mendocino County, Humboldt. So all the good weed, all pretty much everything that's supplying Southern California, all the legacy strands and growers and everything. And I just didn't realize where it was at on the 101. I had no idea. I learned a lot this trip. But I learned a lot when I saw a B&B. So let me see if I can go to their website. There you go. Check this out. Make this bigger. So it says, like, these are no shit pictures. It used to be, so they took over this winery, the Fetzer, if that's a name to anybody who drinks. Used to be a store name brand. Here's an article about the place and how, like, the Fetzer winery sold to them. But on their website, Flow Canna, so the processing, manufacturing, distribution, when you pull into the place, it's like right all in the beginning. And then you come up to the check-in place, and there's a retreat. Now, I don't know. There's nowhere on this website. I'd imagine you just email them and contact them. But there's nowhere on the website that explains, like, how to fucking get a ticket or a room. So, but that land, when I drove up to it, was gorgeous. Texas, bro? You asking about how I drove really fast about Texas? I don't know any new news. I'm just laying out I didn't really hang out in Texas, just drove fast. And I mean, I wish I checked my messages because I probably could have got some weed in several places that when I was already on the road, I got messages. But anyways, yeah. So oh yeah, I got the Flow Canna shirt. They gave me some swag. So, like, the 101, you can definitely do like a cannabis tourism thing all on your own. Dude, I've been to Oklahoma, and I want to come out. I want to come back. Speaking of Oklahoma, check out my boy. Check out our blog. Go to Cannabis Legalization News, and when you're at the main page on the top, go to news. It'll take you to our blog. Now, I just reposted my homeboy's. He's got a cannabis sesh coming up, a Canada networking sesh on October 23rd. And they're always a good time, man. Like, he's always, he's the host of the mostest. I mean, what are you gonna do? Pizza and weed. How hard is it to host a cannabis event? I mean, pizza, weed, soda, water. I don't know, but yeah, and then also check out Cannabis Legalization News for more. I'm going to write more about the trip as I go along, with links and all that crap. Oh, and as far as the best weed goes, honestly, in the market and everything. Oh, and then Oregon weed. I totally forgot about Oregon weed. So after all the LA or the California 101 shit, I getting through Oregon. Oregon's still doing it right, man. They still got the jars. They're handing it in chopsticks. They're letting you smell it. It was cool in Oregon not to see all this prepackaged bullshit that, like, in California and in even here in Washington. And it always seems like the weird, like, cookies. They've nailed it with their weird, like, that light blue and that type of packaging. And now all these other brands are coming out with that kind of packaging. And so it's always like trying to fool you, like, hey, we're like with these guys, and honestly, that's why the consumer needs to be more informed about what's going on. What do you think about the cannabis legalization? Oh, did you guys hear about the MORE Act on normal? Send an email at in regards to the MORE Act. I think is trying to get squeezed into the present the budget shit. Let me open that email out and see if I can double check that for you guys. But if you're a normal Let's see. Last week, the House Judiciary is scheduled to vote on the MORE Act this Wednesday. All right, so there's that. And if you sign up to Normal's mailing list, they make it here. I'll show you. They make it real easy. You can you're on a mailing list. All you gotta do is click one of these links, and it'll send a message to the representatives, and you've made your voice done. You know, as far as like which bill is better and not, none. Like none of this has happened fast enough. None of it is. None of it does for me. So until and that was another thing. Look at me, Mr. Random. Being in Southern California was weird because I was approached recently. Young lady's dad was arrested, and in Northern California. Like, let's see, Jeffrey Stewart Putney. That's the name of the gentleman, and I don't understand how people are making millions, and there's legislation, and we're having legit conversations about this plant and how it was wrongfully done. But here is an article from 2018, September 12th. Guy, and again, going through Humboldt, it reminded me of how much it is farm country. Humboldt, Northern California, is good old boy farm country. No matter what people think about California, they want to be like it's all a bunch of hippies rubbing patchouli all over each other. It's not. It's farm country. Going through Humboldt, I saw, and it's funny how you see marketing. So in Humboldt, there were no signs for like weed itself. There were signs for the bags for transporting the weed. That's what they advertised. The ads were geared towards the farmers and saying, "Hey, let me transport your shit safely." That's all the AdWords. But this guy right here, this person who I'm trying to find out more about, but Jeffrey Stewart Pitney, at 48, this was 3 years ago. He's 51 now. Deputies located a total of 802 marijuana plants at approximately 100 pounds. And this guy's life's fucked with. Whereas there's millionaires and people on boats. There's a goddamn meet and greet that I was trying to attend last week. The shit's not totally fucking right. There's no best way to do it except for fucking stop fucking with people. That's all we're trying to do. We're just trying to be law-abiding citizens. Yeah, it was just weird being through that farm country and knowing that Humboldt had the history, has the triangle, as they called it, I think it's the Emerald Triangle. That area is renowned for its weed. Now, everybody has a chance to grow, so they should be. I hope so. And also, right now, Chris, with the for legalization, I believe there's some stuff in the infrastructure bill, but it's not like pure legalization. It's gonna be like testing for like stuff that's gonna be for the foundation for making the rules, like things that'll be the reference, like DUI limits and shit like that. That's what I think the infrastructure bill is gonna help push through. And there's always gonna be that, like when Washington State legalized it, we have a 5 nanogram DUI bill because Allison Holcomb said there has to be a way to punish people. Punish people for what? I mean, how are you doing it now? How are you catching all the fucking potheads out now? That's how you should be doing it then, or in the future, right? I mean, people still don't wrap their heads that, and again, you say like, "Oh, I smoke and drive." Well, you're encouraging bad shit, and again, be responsible. Just know your limits. Like people with diabetes are, get drunk sometimes off of like lack of insulin, and they feel foggy. So it's all about self ownership, man. But that's what I preach when it comes to legalization is ownership of shit you fuck up. Not like it's the plant's fault or it's the alcohol's fault. Again, a lot of times it's the alcohol's fault. But yeah, so on my trip, I hit Oregon. They're doing it all the same way as the old school chopsticks, probably being dropped off in bags, but it is lab tested. I thought I brought a container in here, but I guess not. I had all like THC and CBD percentages, but it's again not like doing terpenes, no profiles like that. That was kind of cool about Flow Canna. They're doing a what I think they called it, a entourage labeling. Yeah, I mean that's it, brother. If it's just all, we just need to get this over with. So I think, unfortunately, Safe Banking Act will pass because it involves money faster than the MORE Act will. But yay, process. But yeah, Oregon weed, dude. What I paid for it in Oregon, I got twice as much in Oregon than I did from Washington, and it's better quality. So Oregon weed's the best. Sorry, Washington. Best price, best quality. Even the cheap shit, if I was a patient, it would be sustainable. And that's where you have to look at this as a consumer, the price of this plant that is medicine as a patient. You know, why is it so easy to fucking get boner pills but not have concentrates to sustain your pain levels or whatever it is? Yeah, Oregon has the best market. I said it. I mean it. But I gotta say something though. Oh, this fucking childproof container too is hella hard. But I want to give big ups to St. Ides and the Weldon Project and whoever made this goddamn thing. If I can open it. Oh, here it goes. So, I didn't leave the stub in there. Oh well. The stub was a glass filter. This thing was a huge blunt. Oh, it smells like chocolate. So chocolatey. I haven't had anything in Colorado. One day, Colorado was still illegal when I drove through it years ago. It's funny. That's another thing I want to point out. It's funny how I make this road trip. I appreciate you guys hanging me, all 45 of you, with nothing else to do. And then whoever else joins me later. Sorry, I didn't have more time to pre-plan it for a bigger live, but we give the time that we have. And I think it's funny how Tom and I been doing this thing for like 2 years, almost 3, I think. But it's on the weekend. It's casual. It's us. And we're at 30K plus subscribers. Like, subscribe, bitches. Appreciate you. And I appreciate it. But it's so funny how we have a bigger outreach to people than some of these $1 million fucking grows. Like, I know they got the monies and whatever, but like the Flow Canna, 390 acres, a beautiful retreat. This thing was amazing. Like, I would frolic in this bitch all day. They had like 12 subscribers on the YouTube. But again, it's about consistency and content. And, these guys are being real farmers, and I'm just being some jack off on a fucking mic and talking to stranger danger. So I just thought it was weird, and want to point that out. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. I appreciate you guys for hanging. I hope you had a good 420 because I did a little bit ago. That's probably why I seem a little goofier than usual too. And it does. UTPK's weed. But check out keep the pod in mind, or the website. Cannabis Legalization News is the website. Can't miss it. And I appreciate you guys hanging as always. Peace.